Good afternoon. This is Bob Iacchino of Path Trading Partners, along with my co-founder Mike Arnold. It is July 11th, and this is an afternoon Path Chat covering the futures markets. Quick VIX spike today. You see it on your screen there. Mike will be showing it to you. We'll zoom in on it. And a retreat after that spike on the release of Donald Trump Jr.'s email chain with the press secretary, with their partner in the Miss Universe contest in Moscow, with the setting up of a meeting with the supposed Kremlin lawyer, as it's being called in some of the media outlets, this Russian lawyer that supposedly had ties to the Kremlins. Donald Trump released those emails. Stocks fell when he did do that, and then they recovered to the tune of still being down on the day on the Dow. The NASDAQ ended up about a half a percentage point, and the S&P 500 ended up virtually unchanged. Crude oil rallied up 3% today, quite a bit going on in crude oil. Crude oil opened up higher, fell down below yesterday's close, and then rallied back up. We had dueling analysis out of large institutions. Bank of America saying they expect a demand increase over the fourth quarter of 2017 and the first quarter of 2018, with a slight increase in the third quarter. And Goldman Sachs saying that we're going to see a $30 handle on crude oil. But the deciding factor was the API numbers, which came out later in the day, showing an 8.1 million barrel decrease in crude supplies, an 801,000 barrel decrease in gasoline stocks, and a 2.1 million barrel increase in distillate inventories. So 2 draws to 1 build. That is a really big number. Now, in terms of EIA tomorrow, which will matter more, this rally doesn't sustain, regardless of what the EIA number is, it'll be another rally that failed, and you'll probably see Goldman Sachs be right at that point. There is an interesting point that Goldman put in their note. 2.6 million barrels from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve have been sold. So there might be less of a call for a draw on the U.S. inventories, because some of that draw is coming from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. This is not the first time that's happened. It's been going down for months. It's been being sold out. But this particular week, because historically draws are a disappointment in the week that includes July 4th, which is this past week. And that's the week that this will be measured from. So we'll see if that plays out tomorrow morning. But crude oil was up 3% today. Gold up a little bit, but copper was up quite a bit more. Copper ended up finishing the day up about 1%, about 1.08%, on news that there's going to be another strike in South America, so a shrinking of supply in that market. Other than that, that's about it. Mike can show you what happened on the charts, which is more important than the fundamental news anyway. Tomorrow, again, we've got that EIA number coming out, but prior to that, we've got Janet Yellen speaking, and most of the markets have been waiting on her semi-annual testimony to Congress. Tomorrow, she'll release a statement at 7:30 in the morning Central Time, and then at 9 Central, she'll read that statement and then turn to a Q&A, and then she'll repeat that, except for reading the statement, with the Senate Finance Committee on Thursday. So market's been waiting for that all week. Fireworks should begin tomorrow in all the markets, especially if she contradicts the semi-annual report that they released on July 7th, that the Fed released. So having said all that, let me turn it over to Mike to let you know what he's seeing on the charts. Mike, it's all yours.
Thank you very much, Bob. Quick VIX update. Spiking up today a little above 12, but closing back down below 11, 1089 for the close. So nothing major to report there. Dow mini futures. Nice little sell-off earlier in the day, but rallying back in the close, getting below our path trend line. Dropping below the 25% gain level, then popping back up. Continued rally tomorrow. Major resistance coming in about this 21,400. If the markets can get through that 21,400, we'll be watching for 21,436 area, then the 21,473 area, and if we have a really strong rally, 21,500 to 508. On a drop and a pullback, 21,273, first level we'll be watching for. Then we'll be looking for 21,248. Then we'll be watching for a retest of today's lows coming in right around 21,226. If we do break through those lows eventually, we are going to have the next major level support you can write down and keep marked off is 21,141 area, which is the defining point for our trend line and the rising 50-day exponential moving average. Switching over to the S&P E-mini. Also had a nice little sell-off straight down the 50-period exponential moving average and rallied back up into the close, pretty much closing on the 25% gain level. Rally tomorrow. Watch for significant resistance coming in about this 2,428 to 29 level. If we do get through that, we're going to be watching for 2,432, and then we'll be watching for a retest of our declining trend line and the 12.5% gain level from the underside, 2,438 to 39. If we do drop back down, major support coming in about this 2,410 to 11 area, right by today's lows, 37.5% gain level and rising 50-period exponential moving average. If that is broken, then we'll be watching for 2,407, then possibly down to 2,402. Over to the NASDAQ. NASDAQ's been staging a nice 3-day rally. As you can see, back above the rotation zone. Continued rally tomorrow. First area of resistance 5,731 to 5,739. Key area we'll be watching. If we get through that, 5,765 is very, very major resistance, and it will probably have a tough time getting through that, at least on the first try. If it does, then we'll be watching up for about the 5,795 area. On a pullback, first level of support coming in about 56.72. Then we'll be watching back down for major support coming in right around the 56.55, and then possibly down to the 56.45 area. And on a bigger drop, we'd be watching for 5,600. Switching over to crude oil. Crude oil, nice little rally today, coming down. We have a path trend line coming in, which was confirmed today with the lows not getting down to the defining point. So another rally tomorrow. We'll be watching for about 45.77 as first key area of resistance. If we get through that, we don't have much until we get about up to this 46.50 area. We're going to have the declining 50-day exponential coming in, our trend line, and a 37.5 gain level. On a pullback, watch for the first levels of support right around 44.25. Then we'll be watching for a retest of the trend line about 44. Then if that is broken, major support coming in about this 43.65. Switching over to gold. Little nice rally back to 12.5% gain level. On a rally through that tomorrow, we'll be watching for the 12.18 to 19 level. Then about the 12.24, and then we'll be watching for this 12.26.50. This is a sloppy double bottom triggered on a shorter time frame also, so this should continue a rally at least up until the 8, this 12.25 area. If it does pull back, first support coming in at about 12.11, then we'll be watching for this 12.07, which is very key area, 12.07 to about 12.06. If we do get below that, next major is about the 12.04. Finally, over to silver. Silver, nice 2-day rally off the adjusted lows from the flash crash, which they adjusted to 15.14. So if we continue to rally tomorrow, we're going to be watching for really significant resistance coming in about this 15.96 and then the 16.03 area. If we do get through that, return to the prior breakout zone at 16.18. On a pullback, first key area we'll be watching for is about 15.63, then at 15.58, and then possibly all the way back down to 15.41. That's all we have for you tonight. Back to you, Bob.
Thanks for that, Mike, and thank you guys for watching. Please check out the Money Path podcast. There's a new one out. Episode 79 is in the ether. You can find it at pathtradingpartners.com or on Google Play or iTunes by typing in the Money Path podcast. Hit like and subscribe if you like what we are doing, and we will talk to you guys in the next Path Chat. Cheers.